Picture this for a minute.
A Discord call containing a large number of people, all sitting there with their mics muted, and all sharing similar usernames, almost like some kind of cult. Every person is tuned in to one person at the very top who is streaming a countdown timer. When the timer hits 0, you are greeted with the message "for your eyes only," followed immediately by a lyric video for an electronic song, aided by visuals depicting a cyberpunk city where the rain never ceases and a man holds a collapsed girl in his arms, with both of them trapped in a room. You're watching intently, completely absorbed by both the great new song playing through your headphones and the storytelling bombarding your eyes. And then, just as the song begins to climb towards its finale, the man uses an electronic glove to remove some kind of device from the woman's chest, and then... and you are told that in 24 hours, the full version of this video will be released. I was one of the people in that voice call that day, and I cannot even begin to describe the absolute levels of hype and anticipation that I felt and shared with all my fellow unknown users that day. See, there I am, unknown user 93. Now, if that very short anecdote from my time within this community has intrigued you in any way at all, then I ask that you stay, watch, and listen, because today I want to share everything about this world with you. What it is, who it's created by, its wonderful community, everything. Welcome to the City of Oz. Before we get into the city itself, we should probably discuss its creator. This is Justin O. He is a South Korean EDM artist based out of Seoul. Justin has been part of the electronic dance music scene for some time now, releasing his debut EP back in 2012 with All I Say, and continuing to produce music over the years with various companies. Two of these releases I'd like to give a quick shout out to are his 2013 album The Time Traveler and 2017 single Jekyll and Hyde. Now, I'm not a music person, I don't really know much about music theory or whatever, but I'm still going to do my best to sell you on Justin's stuff, this included. If you are a City of Oz fan already and happen to be checking this video out, then first, welcome, secondly, remember this, and third, actually remember to check this out, this album in particular. The Time Traveler is a special project to Justin, and I can understand why. It's an interesting album, a bit different than the City of Oz, much more consistent in its sound, and really captures the embodiment of Justin's older work. The Time Traveler was also crafted in an interesting way, hinted at by its opening and ending titles, The Beginning is the End, and The End is the Beginning, because you can listen to the songs in this album in their normal order and their reverse order. Two tracks that I particularly love are The Time Traveler's theme and Where the Lights Fall, the latter being one of my favorite chill songs to listen to strolling through the streets at night, but I digress. So if that interests you or you want to hear more Justin O after having checked out the City of Oz, go give this a go. And now we reach 2018, where Justin O teams up with EDM label monstercat. There's a good chance you've heard of them before. They're an independent music label that have a lot of memorable names under their belt, like Pegboard Nerds, AU5, and Tristan, for instance. They've also done collabs in various games that your younger siblings probably play, like Fortnite, Rocket League, and Beat Saber. Hell, Justin himself had a crossover skin line for Khan in Paladins. Early promotional tweets for the City of Oz began on Justin's Twitter in May of 2018. Most of the imagery was extremely strange and abstract, with multiple television screens featuring an array of visuals, posters asking, "Have you seen Justin O?" as though he were a wanted criminal, and even a fake news broadcast stating that he had joined up with monstercat.
Electronic dance music label known as Monstercat has a new artist to add to their roster, Justin O. But who is Justin O? This reporter doesn't know. I'm not even sure why it's newsworthy, but we'll keep you posted as the story develops.
And then, June 7th, 2018, monstercat Uncaged uploaded Justin's first track and started a revolution. She's a killer. The video was like nothing that had ever been posted on the monstercat channel. A lyrical music video instead of the typical visualizer, accompanied with wild, stimulating glitch graphics and apparently hinting at a story involving a place called the City of Oz. I still remember seeing it for the first time during a lunch break at a summer internship on my friend's computer and instantly falling in love with this. At the time, I knew of monstercat and had a few songs I liked under my belt, but this completely sucked me in. And then, just under 2 weeks later, another song. Rearview Mirror was released on June 19th on the monstercat Instinct channel, a place meant for more chill EDM compared to Uncaged. Then a few months later, we get U&ME on Instinct, and then in October, we bounce back to Uncaged for Loving Her, Loving You. The man was wilding on the frontier, and every song was an absolute banger that added more to the story of Oz. One very important thing to note, however, these releases were neither in the correct album order, nor were they chronological to the story. It was up to us as the community to piece together the puzzle of Oz. Along the way were a multitude of collabs with various monstercat artists. Xylent, Nitrofun, Rogue, Mazaire, and Faint all participated in songs on the album, alongside other singers like Delaney Kai and Jamie. And so on this went for 2 years, releasing songs into the pandemic and through it, until finally in October of 2020, Welcome to the City of Oz was fully released. The lockdown in the City of Oz online concert took place just a month later, and was followed that very night with the cinematic cut of the City of Oz music videos. Before the album's release, there were only a handful of times you could get access to the City of Oz Discord. Currently, it is completely public, and you are more than welcome to join, link in the description. But back in the day, Justin would post a set of join codes on his socials that only worked for the first 50 people to use them, so you had to be there to get in. I didn't make it in on the first wave of users, but I made it in the second time. There were 3 waves total before the server went fully public. All those unknown user names are given out based on the order you joined the server, so in my case, I was the 93rd member. Now we have over 600 as of the making of this video. With the song releases, there were also a number of ARG elements and puzzles released for the community to play around with. One of the best examples was from the release of Killswitch, where at the end of the music video, a series of hexadecimal values appears. This could be translated to a jumble of ASCII letters, but they didn't mean anything just yet. What you needed to do was use a key given by unknown user 1 in the City of Oz Discord to translate the hexadecimal code on the singles art for Killswitch, which gave us this message. Then you take the buffer overflow line and use it as a visionaire key for the music video scramble, and you ended up with this message hinting at the events of the next song to be released. These events allowed us to work together and bond as a community, and it was a lot of fun in the process. So what exactly is the City of Oz then? Put simply, Welcome to the City of Oz is an EDM concept album that tells the story of the aforementioned city and its denizens, where it's always raining and a powerful AI known as She watches over all. Justin O and the Underground Resistance fight back against She and her army of sentinels in this cyberpunk landscape over the course of the album. Justin has stated before that Oz is inspired by a lot of different pieces of science fiction and cyberpunk media, such as The Matrix, Blade Runner, and Akira, and you can really see it throughout the music videos, which were animated by Studio Shelter Korea. Now, before I go into a full explanation of the story of Welcome to the City of Oz, I want to suggest experiencing it for yourself first, as well as offer 3 ways to do so. This is to give you the chance to really make the City of Oz your own, and then you can come back to this explanation later for confirmation once you've got some theories about the story. The first way is just through the raw album. It's streamable on Spotify or on YouTube, and just consists of the songs in their purest form. Personally, I don't recommend this as your first foray because key lines and extra bits of dialogue are removed from these streamable versions of the songs, but if you're just here for the music aspect, this may be the route you want to take. The second option involves watching the music videos in release order. I will have this order up on screen now for you to save. With this, you'll get to experience the City of Oz the way we did as it was being drip-fed to us over 2 years. This order is a bit different than the order that the songs are in on the album or in the third option, but there's also a handful of songs missing from this option, so it's a very different experience altogether. And lastly, there's the cinematic cut. If you're only going to check out the City of Oz once, this is the way to go. It's a 40-minute cut of all the music videos in the same order as the album, with additional footage for the other songs on the album, which completes the story as a whole. It's by far the most complete version of Oz to experience, so I highly recommend this one. If you're going to check this out multiple times though, I would recommend release order first, the cinematic cut second, and then listening to the album in your spare time, just because of the bits the streamable songs are missing. But with that, you have one last chance to click off now, enjoy the City of Oz for yourself, and then return once you have finished for some fun facts and anecdotes from the community after the story explanation. Otherwise, let's get into it. The story of Welcome to the City of Oz actually starts with the one song that isn't on the album itself, Rearview Mirror. Justin has stated in the past that this song is a prequel to the album as it depicts a young woman driving away from the city at sunset. As the video progresses, we see a number of Oz vehicles in pursuit before the woman drives off a cliff and we fade to black. Genesis follows this with a voice log from Dr. Theodore Gale, a scientist from within the city. He recounts his group's failed attempts to control the weather with a device called CW5, which resulted in an endless rain upon the desert-located city. As for the populace of Oz, the leadership is falling apart, people are at each other's throats, and society is collapsing as a whole. Thus, to take over the role of leadership in the city and guide humanity back on course, Gale has proposed having an artificial intelligence take over, but there's a problem. In their current time, they do not have the proper physical hardware that can run an AI capable of understanding human reasoning. And so, Gale reveals that he has found a compatible host for this AI in the body of a survivor of an unfortunate accident outside of the city, which, as we know, is the young woman from Rearview Mirror. He intends to use the girl's brain as a vessel, the only thing complex enough to store such an AI, and that is exactly what happens at the end of the song. Time skip forward as the album officially opens, and we find that the AI, She, has the city in a totalitarian vice grip. The people are meant to comply, and are aided in doing so with the Dream Pill, a medication one can take to make all of the bad feelings go away and just live in simple bliss instead. A resistance force calling themselves the Underground has formed in opposition to her rule, keeping in touch on low-wave frequencies and through graffiti messages across the city. Old tech is commonly used by the group, as it remains unconnected to the cloud and therefore undetectable for the most part by She. The group also remains unnamed, using unknown user pseudonyms when conversing. Working with the Underground is the character version of Justin O, a newcomer to the City of Oz supposedly. At the start of Loving Her, Loving You, we find O trying to contact She through his own mishmash setup of computer parts and TV screens. The Underground are aware of this attempt, and some members speculate on whether or not he'll actually be able to make contact this time. As O succeeds in reaching her, the AI hones in on his location, declaring O as a wanted criminal and sending 3 sentinels after him, members of her robotic enforcement police, demanding they bring O to her. Justin is forced to run, racing through the city to find somewhere safe to hide out as the Sentinels pursue him. With the plan going south and she actively hunting them down now, the underground is forced to go into hiding and must send out a beacon. Don't Bring Me Down shows she rallying her Sentinel troops as a citywide manhunt begins for Justin and the underground. While blocking hijacking signals from the underground, she also tries tracing underground comms to find their sources, and slowly members begin to get caught. Meanwhile, from his hidden office within an arcade, O begins working on a new device. During this time, Justin gets a message from someone named Keaton Smith, who asks if he can trust O before sending along a file for him to look at. As Assemble begins, there is a news interview with Mr. Xylent, founder of Xylent Corp, a massive tech company within the city. Xylent Corp has recently partnered with She to develop a line of Sentinels to maintain security and safety within Oz, with Xylent's promise that this line of machines can be trusted in her hands. As this interview plays, we see that Justin is getting another message from an unknown source, simply 3 question marks asking, "Are you there? It's me." We then cut to the contents of Keaton Smith's file, video depicting the truth behind the Sentinels' construction. As it turns out, they're not simply robots or tin men. Sentinels are actual human citizens of Oz that, while under the effects of the Dream Pill, are brought to the Xylent Corp factory and torn apart, save for the skeleton and brain, which are then augmented and reinforced with a metal frame, with She being implanted or connected directly to the brains. As Xylent continues to praise the advancements of robotics and cybernetics, O receives a new file from the unknown messenger, something called Killswitch version 52. As citizens and underground members alike riot against an onslaught of Sentinels in the streets, Killswitch begins. The single-digit users speculate on the situation, stating that while the Sentinels have not found O yet, he is running out of time. Hidden behind one of NitroFun's Nitroverse machines in the arcade is the passage to Justin's office, only accessible if one enters the Konami code into the game. Downstairs, O has combined part of a VR headset and an Alfred service unit to attempt connecting with She once more. He succeeds in doing so, and this time is actually able to communicate with her. At this point, U&ME interjects itself into the story, as this song is the conversation between Justin and She. The AI wants to know why Justin seeks her, and he states that he has so many questions but no idea where to start. When She replies by saying that you people with hearts have something to guide them, while She has no heart, O is confused, but She reassures him that he will understand in the end. Returning to Killswitch, the users reveal that She is located within one of the massive cubes floating through the sky of Oz. Justin heads to the rooftop of the building with a device already prepared and waits for her. All transmissions are shut down as District 52 goes into lockdown, giving O nowhere to run. The cube arrives, and Justin is beamed up inside as hexadecimal code is shown on screen. We then transition to Feel Alright, a quiet song between all the chaos, where we see a music video for fellow monstercat artist Rogue play on Justin's TV. As the song ends, however, the image is disrupted, followed by a message stating that the failsafe has been activated, sending the Killswitch file to Faint. She's a Killer is presumably the beacon the Underground was referring to prior, a public signal trying to persuade more citizens to join their cause, with Justin's message getting cut off at the end. His message is finally played in full during Remember This, which is then repeated by various members of the Underground as the users band together in support of Justin. She's a Killer Part 2 shows Justin's ascent into the cube, and shows a conversation between him and her that we're not given the audio to. As this takes place, Faint tells Mazaire to take the kill switch and fly, as a portal opens to the city of Oz, confirming a connected multiverse between these artists' musical stories. Mazaire Bird flies toward the cube containing Justin, heading straight for She and disabling her for a brief moment, causing the young woman's body to descend from the ceiling. 4 minutes shows us the last conversation between Justin and the woman, who was apparently the real reason he was searching for She all along. The girl states that they still have the chance to save the people of Oz from the Sentinel rampage below, But before they do, she professes her happiness in seeing O one last time. Justin then activates his cyber glove, removing a core from the woman's chest, and thus, the girl dies in his arms. With her death, she loses its connection and goes into system failure. The cube collapses around them, along with the rest across the city, and the sentinels shut down in the streets. Oz is finally free. Now all that's left are some more fun facts and anecdotes from the community and the album in general. This is like the iceberg part of the video, but I'm not really ordering them in any particular way. I'm just going to ramble and reminisce for a bit here. First things first, fan involvement in the album. For the song Remember This, those are not just random people Justin hired to have read the lines for him. Those are all actual voice lines sent in by the members of the Discord. And while you can't hear everyone saying their specific number, Justin has said he tried to make sure every single person that sent lines in makes an appearance. You can even hear me in there, hey. This song was a massive thank you for Justin to the community because he really cares a lot more about the product first and not so much profit. Another example of fan involvement comes from Killswitch. The messages on the screen that appear just before the lockdown commences are actual messages from the Discord. It has been confirmed previously that Xylan's album We Are Dust is canon in the Oz universe. Justin stated in the past during a Reddit AMA that Xylan's album takes place at least 100 years later, so nothing particularly close. However, the character Keaton Smith is from that album, and there was a Twitter ARG that also ties into the connection between Oz and We Are Dust.
Thanks for sending.
There have also been a number of awesome virtual concerts and events given by Justin in the past. Now, I have a handful of clips and recordings of these sets, but for the sake of preserving the sanctity of the events and their memory, I'm not going to be releasing or showing the whole thing of any of them. It's kind of a you had to be there sort of thing, so I want to keep that intact as much as possible, while still offering you a glimpse into those events. The biggest one was Lockdown in the City of Oz, which had to be changed a bit due to the pandemic, but it was a virtual concert held on Twitch during the Thanksgiving weekend 1 month after the album released, and the cinematic cut was shown off immediately after the show. Then there was the wicked WW Fest Unlocked set in partnership with Valorant, where spamming certain emotes in chat applied different visual filters to the stream. That one was particularly awesome because A, Justin played a remix of Unfold by Porter Robinson and Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs, which had just come out at the time and was tied for my favorite song on Nurture. And B, Justin also presented a new song he had made just for the concert called Last Player Standing, and I'm dying to have it released because it was so good. Then there was the monstercat 10th anniversary set, which was just a beautiful little travelogue of Justin performing a more chill version of his usual set, like a mixtape of sorts. I think the image of U&ME playing over the sky of Jeju while reflecting back on the water as Justin sits on the rocks is going to be burned into my mind till the end of time. There was also the Razer partnership concert last October. That one was pretty lit too. And finally, the private Discord call sets were always a blast. I still get a laugh out of Spicy Nudes. Again, had to be there for it, so join the community now so you won't miss out on the next great moment. Minecraft server. We have a dedicated City of Oz Minecraft world for Java Edition that I and several others worked together to bring to fruition. It took about 2 years to get it finished, and again, you can access it through the Discord, and you can just run around in the City of Oz as we tried to reimagine it. There's a lot of secrets and little things to discover and do, so be sure to check that out if it interests you. As a tight-knit community, we also have an array of in-jokes and memes. Just to toss a few out there, we have the Bee Wars, the conspiracy that there's a Porter Robinson statue hidden somewhere in the city, March 23rd, the absolutely insane but fun roleplay story in City of Oz journals. I have completely lost track of what's going on now, but I'm glad people are enjoying themselves. The couple of meme contests we've had, there's a lot. And we made sure to try and put some of those memes into the Minecraft server as well. Well, that's about all I've got for the City of Oz. If this world and community interests you, I'll be sharing lots of links to stuff in the description so you can dive right in. Big thank you to Justin O for creating this wonderful piece of art and allowing us to interact with both it and yourself so regularly. And shout out to the community that has been so awesome over the years. See, June 7th will be the 5th anniversary of She's a Killer, Justin's debut with the City of Oz. And there's been recent hints that the next part of the Oz story is currently under development. While we have no date of when that will be happening, Justin is absolutely the embodiment of quality over quantity. So why not join us so you don't miss out when that happens? And if you're already sold on it, then welcome to the City of Oz.
We hope you enjoy